Hello and welcome along to episode 7 of our podcast. Today is Meet the Builder, so we are very pleased to welcome along Colin and Lindsay from Homes by Ash. Let's go meet them. Good afternoon, welcome along Home Alone episode 7, Meet the Builder. And today we have the pleasure of Colin Willits and Lindsay joining us from Homes by Ash. Hello and welcome.
Hi, Graham.
Thank you for coming along.
Good afternoon.
My co-host, Mr. Ben Riley, as everybody knows. So, guys, we've got you in. I just would like we'll just have a general chat about the new build, the process, and what goes on in new build. Really educate our viewers and listeners all about the new build process, if we can. So, do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about your personal journeys, how long you've been at Ash, where you've come from, what you've done in the past, maybe? So, Colin, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, well, I've been at Ash since 2007. It's quite a long time.
Yeah.
Just sales director there, just looking after the company's sales and progression, and ultimately helping with land purchase.
Right.
But before that, I was at different developers. I was at Barratt for a while and Persimmon down in Yorkshire, where I'm from Leeds. And so I've managed to build a good team around me, and I enjoy working at Ash Homes. It's a regional developer, so we can influence things going forward in a lot of different ways.
Small as good stuff. Lindsay, your background, what are you?
So I'm probably a bit of the opposite to Colin. So I've only been at Homes by Ash for 3 years.
Right.
Before that, I was still with Ash Group, but with their build side.
On the construction side.
Yeah, so commercial buildings. But like I say, I've worked here 3 years now. Before that, I was customer care manager for Greggs, the bakers.
Oh, yeah.
I was.
Oh, no, that's interesting.
Colin doesn't know that.
Colin doesn't know that, so we'll learn from you.
She tells us quite a lot, but she works at Greggs.
So my kind of area is service,
Right.
which I see as a transferable skill.
Yeah.
I came to Homes by Ash with a view of kind of bringing their service kind of forward.
Yeah.
So I've worked really closely with Colin on bringing a customer journey in.
Yeah.
So not just about customer care, but actually from when they first walk in to see that the girls and boys in sales, to kind of right the way through, through their journey, and kind of building building that relationship with them really. So rather than just being a name or a number, I go out and see every customer personally, within kind of a month of them coming.
Right.
We have a cuppa, we chew the fat a bit, that ensures they're home.
Yeah.
Because obviously everybody's really proud, of what they've bought.
We wanted to move it from being a reactive after you move in a service to before being a bit more proactive. So Lindsay inspects all the houses, drives quality with the site teams, but also then hands the houses over to the client. They know the customer care team before they actually move in. So I think it's quite a positive thing that we've done.
Brilliant, because I think... Go on, sorry, Ben.
Is that quite different with other builders? Or?
I think so. Definitely from the time I was at Barratt and Persimmon, it was customer care came in after you moved in, whereas we took that process away from the sales team. So the sales team at front end developed the sale and then help people buy the house through the mortgage and conveyancing process. And then ultimately, when the clients are getting ready to move in, we hand to Lindsay's team, and she does the handover and process the sale through there. The salespeople are still involved handing the keys over. That's still what the job is about, and it's affecting people's lives.
You're bringing in Lindsay and her team into the journey, rather than something being wrong and then going to look for them. You're inviting them to come along, and I guess that breaks them barriers down then. Straight away.
Totally. So we first meet the customer at home demo, so which traditionally is a sales activity. We felt it was important that people could put a face to a name straight away. It puts people more at ease. And that we are a very small team, so we've literally got 4 people in the team. So if they don't see me, they see Katie or Gemma or Dan. And again, they're not just ringing a call centre or whatever it might be. So we get in very early. We do the full home demo with the client. Hopefully get really excited with them. Before they move in. Normally the first time they've seen the house. my team, as Colin said, we've already seen it. We've already gone through, you know, the house with site, and you know, we've all agreed formally that we're comfortable with the quality of the house, and we're happy to hand it over at this point. You know, there is a whole kind of view about big bad builders, and you know how people build kind of not great new builds. You know, we're really proud of our traditional masonry build. You know, of the fact that, you know, we all would live in our houses.
Testimony to them,
You know, and our view is always, well, actually, would we have that in our house? And if it's a no, well, what we're doing. You know, and we make
you sell it
changes
to somebody
on the
else,
back of
exactly
that.
right. Exactly
One of
right.
the things about the specification as well, we try and put a better specification in, a better quality tap, for example. And the theory behind that is if we can put better fittings in the house, they won't go wrong as quick, and we deliver a better quality product. In terms of cost, if you know, on our 200 houses a year, if we add £1 to the build cost, it's £200. But to the bigger builders, it's thousands of pounds difference. So that's why, you know, you can understand why they do it. But for us, it's not worth it. We want to go in, hand the house over, and really not go back and do the snags. We want to try and get it right.
Be proud first time when you do that handover that you get it right. Excellent. Well, as I say, that's different, isn't it? Because I've bought new build in the past, and I didn't meet the customer care team. I normally had to go and find the site manager, give him a bottle of whiskey or something, get him on side, and then know that he would come round and do any little snags or any little fixes. In all honesty, that was the route to go. But if you're introducing yourself front end, I think that tells the customer something, doesn't it? You know what I mean? That you're not hiding away. You know what I mean? You're not in a call centre. You're not hiding.
Well, exactly, and even just, you know, I work a Saturday just so I can go and see clients.
Right.
You know, Saturday's my visits day.
Right.
You know, most of the companies don't do that.
Yeah.
But if I was visiting clients during the week, you know, people work, people have other commitments. You know, so I kind of doorstep Saturday mornings normally, not too early.
Is that off the first Saturday when they've moved in, or do you give them a couple of weeks?
I give them a week or
Settling,
so, and then I go and see them again,
Yeah.
probably after about 5 weeks as well.
Brilliant.
Just to check everything's all right. You know, proactive, you know, not kind of
And
scheduled
what's that
or
done
anything.
for your client service and your scoring then? That I guess because they were asked to do a survey. Is that right?
Yeah, we do customer satisfaction surveys. So, you know, last year we got 95% recommend, which is, you know, 5-star builder kind of territory. We're maintaining that this year. You know, we've put in a lot of processes to bring everyone along on this journey. So we actually brought the whole company in to talk about customer journey and their part within it. You know, from kind of, you know, the person who's doing kind of the finance with the calculator to kind of the labourers on site. Everyone has a part in customer journey and making sure we hand over a great house. But yeah, definitely front foot all the time. You know, we don't always get it right, but we try really hard, and we've got a team who try really hard.
Just hearing like around different builders, is there a challenge for you guys with bricklayers and tradespeople?
It's very cyclical, depending on what's going on in
Yeah.
the market. You know, we did have that issue last year. This year it's eased off. There's more people around. I think the market is a bit tougher than it was, but we very much follow the way the economy goes. The housing market's booming, then there's a shortage of trades. Materials go up in price as the market eases. You know, it gets worse, or there's some effect on the market. Then we don't sell as many, we don't build as many, and again, the trades become more available. So, in the industry has got an issue that it hasn't upskilled many people for a long time. But you know, in Esh, we take apprentices on, we take trainees on, and we try and upskill our labour when we can. But it is a problem. And inflation on material goods last year and the year before was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was prices of materials were going up and up and up.
It was a weekly basis for wood. I think at one time people were saying to us it was a price. The price was that price. It wasn't a price for 4 weeks or 6 weeks. It was for then.
Wood,
now,
plasterboard, anything that was energy intensive,
right?
Bricks, blocks, were going really, had massive inflation on them because of the energy price rises.
With all those factors, in terms of house prices, was it a case house prices went up, or was it? This
Well,
will remain the same.
That's great if your house price is going up, your costs are going up, your house price is going up, then that's fine. But at the time, they weren't going up.
Yeah.
So, and there's only so much you can charge for a house. There's a cap. So basically, you squeezed on your margins then.
Yeah. I think that was a difficult one last year, wasn't it? It was a bit of an anomaly, I think, obviously, because that's what I was going to ask you. Obviously, you get a plot of land, or you earmark a plot of land way back when. I guess I don't know how long or how far in advance you're looking at a plot of land, but I'm guessing a good 12 months out before you even start putting groundworks in.
Yeah, I mean, the industry, does sometimes get a bad comments, bad reputation. But if you think about what the developers have to do, is they have to source land, and land is not cheap.
No.
It's millions of pounds that are invested, and the builds are. So you buy the land, and you've got to try and get planning there, and planning is not an exact science. It's tough. Some sites that have got designated for housing can still take 18 months, 2 years to bring through before we even start building anything. So you've got all that money invested, then you've got to put roads in, sewage, drainage systems before you even build any house at all. So you've got a lot of money at risk, and then the economy
is changeable.
It's changeable
massively
in that time. So you can set off at day one, and when you get the site the houses on site, the economy's totally changed. The whole market has changed.
Yeah.
So
pricing must be difficult at that point, like when you're setting out.
Do you use your own internal sort of designers for the sewage system, street designs, or?
Yeah, at Esh we've got our own in-house architects that do that for us. It's part of what we try and do, keep everything in-house ourselves. We use external consultants for some things, but it's controlled within our own technical teams. And it's houses that we built and designed that the salespeople feedback, comments from our customers. What would you change? What we're doing right? Comments. There was one house type, and it didn't particularly sell very well. And we were like, why is it not selling? And we found out because it didn't have a utility room in it.
Right.
It had a great big lovely breakfast kitchen, but it didn't have a utility, and that's where the market was. People wanted that, so we altered it. We designed it on feedback from the sales team, and now it sells a lot better. So things like that we can do very quickly,
right?
Which is it's good.
It is one of the real beauties of working that bit smaller and that bit closer as a team, because again we've made changes on the back of customer feedback as well, around kind of it would be nice if the door hung this way instead of that way, or kind of simple things that just we didn't think about.
Anything, when you're doing if there's anything you're doing the job, the managers can see it their way, but it's the people on the ground who are using the product are doing it. So if you've got a customer in there and they're feeling the product and seeing it, and you would never have thought at the higher level, I guess, would you?
Well, no. So we've recently changed our surveys where we do them by house type.
Right.
So actually we can feed back to our technical team, what customers love, let's do more of that. What maybe they don't like as much, let's maybe scale that back a little bit. And again, that's something we use as a tool to encourage customers to fill it out, that we can and do make changes on the back of it, which is the beauty of working, closely together. So.
Yeah, like you said.
It sounds like a real family orientated.
It doesn't feel like a family some days.
I bet. We're the same, but it doesn't feel like a good dysfunctional family.
No, it's good. I mean, we're very, very similar in the ethos of that. We've got, there's a director sitting here doing the podcast and does them with me every month, and every week we get together. But they're hands-on. You can come into the office every day. You haven't got to go through a chain of command. We've got managers in there, but if you want to go and see Ben or Phil, you can go and see them. And the good thing, and you've said there, change can happen very quickly. We haven't got to wait 6 weeks for it to go up the chain and then come back down the chain, and then we don't need that anymore now because it was there and then. So we can change things quickly, and you're saying there, you get customer feedback, and you can change the style of a house quite quick. You can change what the customers want. And that's the beauty, I think, isn't it? I mean, you've been to PLC, you've just said Persimmon, Barrett there, Colin Neal and Known, hands are tied, you've got to wait for this and the other.
Yeah, you've got certain restrictions.
Yeah.
It's a different scale of business. But, buying a house is a scary thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you've got to try and make it as easy and as friendly as you can, and offer that advice. I think the average person moves every 7 years, I think, but that might be even more now with the way house prices have risen the last few years. But I think, trying to make that process easy, friendly, help advice, and then ultimately we get to the end, which is a customer with a good product and can get on with their lives really.
So planning, you said there about for the amount of time in planning, got to be one of the biggest gripes that you've got out there.
Yeah, planning. I think it's pretty recognised that the planning system needs changing. There's everybody's got their own opinion on house building and where it should be and how many houses should be built, but ultimately underlying the whole market is a lack of housing supply, and you've got to question sometimes where are young people going to find the house that they want to live in and bring up their family. I think the average first-time buyer is now into their late 30s.
Yeah.
So if you think you were to start, start your own family, buy a house, it's a tough ask for a lot of people to do. And I think the planning system restricts housing, even in areas that are designated, to have housing. It can still take a long time to go through. There are contributions for schools, education, health, which is fine. Everybody agrees with that. But now there's other things coming in. There's a bit changing to building regulations in terms of gas. Is being taken out of houses. Again, that keeps changing. It was 2025, it's now 2030. But all these things change and the technology's new, so it all adds to your build cost on houses, and it's all the uncertainty going forward.
Touching on that, we've got an election in July. More than likely, there's going to be a change of government, and then they may revert back to some of what you've said there. Some of them dates might come back into play. Some of it might change. They'll have their own plans. That's got to be another. You've got to be sitting there again with a bit of worry and concern about where it's going to go, I guess.
It just adds to a little bit of uncertainty. But I think there's a will of change coming. Whether that's the government that's in power, they're going to have to change the way they're doing things, or there's a new government altogether. Yeah. I think we've got to think it's a positive thing, and try and embrace the changes that are coming. Yeah. I think we'll always have uncertainty as people change rules and change regulations, but ultimately, it is for the better. Yeah. Just more certainty would definitely help, and when the rules are in place, these are the rules. They can be so changeable and variable. Yeah. That it makes it tough sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So speaking of government, the current government obviously was in power when COVID was here. 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Have you seen a difference in planning timescales pre-COVID to after COVID?
It's difficult to know, Ben, whether it was COVID or not. Definitely, it's taking a little longer to get planning on schemes now. But there have been some other changes within the nutrition neutrality within the Tees Valley. Has been an issue that's offsetting the nutrients that a new site puts into the watercourses, and offsetting that with either laying land away from its agricultural use, or buying credits, which really is like a tax on building again. But I think before COVID it was still a tough thing. Planning was still tough, and it's such a political animal. I think that's the issue with planning and building houses. But ultimately we all need a house to live in. And I often find, a bit of a throwaway comment, I often find that people who are anti-development, they've got their house, and usually it's all paid for, or they've got two houses. But I always think, where are young people going to live? Where do they buy their house, their cheap house?
Well, there's no cheap anymore,
no
is there?
Houses around.
No cheap houses anymore.
And it's got to do with the supplies being so restricted over the last 30, 40 years. We need a big grown-up discussion about supply housing, where our kids are going to live, and let's try and make some changes.
Yeah, it would be good to see it come back through again. I think we spoke to Maria Harris, didn't we, a few months back, and she's lobbying with the government now about planning and speeding up that process and getting rid of the red tape and going digital. And a lot of stuff now can move at pace now, can't it? Yeah. The more we embrace all of that, and I know she's doing a really good job currently to push that through, because it's got to be quicker, isn't it? Like you say.
Michael Gove.
Yes, well, currently with Michael Gove, who's going to resign, who's resigning after the election. Yes, so you can see again they're changing things. But like you say, we will overcome, we will adapt. It's just get it in, give us as a plan, so you know what you're working from, I guess, and then you can go.
Absolutely, that would be the ideal.
Yeah, you can go at it again. So for you guys, currently you're strong in the Darlington area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any new things coming along?
We've got a couple of sites that are going to be opening this year. A site in Trimden, just outside Durham, and Philadelphia at Sunderland.
Hopefully
That's just going through planning at the moment. So
it'll be about 18 months.
Well, hopefully.
How many units then?
We're getting towards the end of the planning process.
All right.
So about 58 on each.
Yeah.
And so a nice size. A couple of years for us to get on and develop. So not big sites by any means, but it just.
Is that your sort of sweet spot? That number of plots on a development column?
It would be probably about 70s
is where you want to be.
Great for us.
Right.
But the bigger sites give you the security to plan business going forward. So the bigger sites we have in Darlington give us the sales rate. Yeah. And then we will add in the other smaller sites as and when the opportunities arise. But again, land's pretty scarce. Land is, there's not a lot of it coming through. Mm-hmm. Again, I think it's restricted on the building reg changes. Yeah. Landowners are looking at that and thinking, well, how much is this land worth, what I'm going to get for this? So there's not a lot of it.
And then competition, I guess there's a lot of builders after
this
piece of land.
Yeah. That was one of my biggest questions for you, is how does it work? Because obviously there's that many builders out there. Piece of land comes up. Is it a bit like 10 people trying to buy a house and the price goes up and up and up?
It can be. There's different ways. There's relationships.
Yeah.
You develop relationship with landowners and land agents, and then there's open tenders. So a land agent will put a piece of land on the market, and then you bid with everyone else for that piece of land. So there's no rules to it. It depends really, because the factors can all change. How much can you build the site for? What you think you're going to sell them for? Those are the two main variables. And obviously every different builder's got a different view on that.
And does the owner of the land, sorry Ben, the owner of the land dictate the style of builder that goes on there, or the style of house that goes on there?
There's different landowners. It's like, if you or me, Graham, had a piece of land with 100 houses on it, I don't think we'd have it very long. Right. You'd sell it pretty quick. Yeah. But if you're a big landowner, the Duke of Northumberland, for example, he probably wants to enhance the community, what's going to go there, because he's got lots of different options come to him. So different landowners, the church have a lot of land, and it depends on where the land is. So there's no rules. Again, there's no rules. It's all, and how they sell it can be different. It can be just negotiated land with a landowner who comes to you and you agree a price, and then it's fairly straightforward. Other land, there's lots of things you need to do to check out the land. So there's site investigation works. You need the work on the ecology, sound, transport assessments before you even put anything into planning. So
complicated.
It can be complicated, and it can cost a lot of money.
I was going to say some of that might not come to fruition.
Some of it you gets written off.
Speaking of that, I mean, every time I go over the Redriff Bridge, remember the big Bellway sign? Yeah. And they never obviously ever built there. So I've always thought they must have bought that, and they've done nothing with it. And there would have been a load of costs going into that.
Yeah, I mean it's a brownfield site and it's a regeneration. I think it's just been brought forward. That next.
So it's still going to be.
Yeah, I think there was some development along going towards the Tyne Bridge, but I think it's been brought forward now. I think it's like what people. There's a bit of a fallacy around planning permissions. It's builders are sat on a lot of planning permissions. But if you think you've got a site of say 200 houses, well, you can't just build 200 houses just like that. Yeah. It takes years. 200 houses. If you build between 30 and 50 a year, it's a 4 or 5 year site.
Without any delays, without any issues.
So the planning permission thing is a bit of a misnomer really, because you can't just if you built 200 houses all at once, then you wouldn't be able to sell that many in one go. So so it's not straightforward.
No, it doesn't sound it.
How does it?
I don't know that I'm negative about it.
No, it's just a reality, isn't it? It's what people don't know. You know what I mean? I've been in meetings years ago where the big ones, it could be called the land banking, the holding land, and they'll openly say we don't. And like you say, it's out there, isn't it? And people have this perception that's what they do. But I guess there's a lot of work going on that nobody sees for a long time until they start to come out the ground, do they? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for Esh, if we bought a piece of land, we would start building it as soon as we possibly.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no.
Yeah, you don't want to hold it. There's no point.
We don't have the money to land bank.
Yeah.
It would be developed and
Out there.
moving it forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Lindsay involved as soon as she goes.
Does it get harder when, like, on a 4 or 5 year build where you've obviously got people who are in there day one and then they decide to sell after a year or 2 years?
No, not really. I think, some of kind of our longer running sites, you do see the occasional kind of house up for sale, but we don't see that many, do we?
No, I think we try and finish cul-de-sacs as we go through the site. So first cul-de-sac be finished, the road topped off, finished, and then people just getting on with their lives. It's quite good to see, to be honest, because that's what people do. But we do have a lot of repeat buyers. We've got on the site at West Park, and there's been a couple of people that bought smaller houses. The circumstances changed; they've moved to a bigger house within the same.
Yeah, sort of when it's along the site, then you'll get to see that, won't you? Yeah.
It's been really nice actually on those because both of those examples, they kind of had young family and the dogs now, and they were looking to kind of upgrade from the 2 and 3 beds to a 3 and 4 bed proposition. But it was really nice because my team already knew them.
Yeah, they've stayed with you, so they've trusted you when they first bought it.
Yeah.
And they're still. And then, so if they're going to buy you again, it's like any customer, you know what I mean? If you're an Apple customer, they want to keep you as Apple, but that's the same for you, you know what I mean? It must be nice to see.
I mean, we tend to keep in touch with customers anyway. Customers really want to show you what they're doing with their new home. Right. We have a lot of kind of Instagram, TikTok type people. Who want to kind of showcase what they've done in their home. So, and we kind of utilise some of that. Most of kind of my team follow a lot of our customers just, for that kind of home inspiration, if you like. But it's great to see their journey.
How they design the houses, it's good.
Yeah. Are you involved in the show home design then, Colin? Is that any of that your work?
No, it's not my
work. No. You don't get involved on that side of it, no. Lindsay, are you involved in anything?
We get professionals to do it.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more idea of what trends are.
We give them a brief, don't we, on what we're thinking, what the demographic is.
Yeah, I was going to say, so
so for example, our newest ones at Herworth, we're going for kind of
vibrant,
first-time buyers.
Nice.
So we've gone kind of a bit more funky. A bit more kind of what younger people.
Trends are changing, aren't they? So
I mean, there's still kind of options for other demographics, obviously, and we've got, I think, a good range of show home options now. And the whole point of a show home is to show you what could be done in it. And I think, particularly at our Herworth site, we've showcased some of our smaller houses, but actually showed how big they are inside. Even with like a lot of furniture in, and how you can kind of maximise your space using paint and furniture, and all sorts of ideas. So. Yeah, it's definitely the professional's job to do that.
And the home working space.
Definitely.
It's key now.
A lot of people need it,
I think you've talked about, obviously, COVID changed a lot of things, didn't it? It changed a lot of
that changed
of what people want in a house.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've gone down this American line now, having a living room and then the back kitchen, living area, space, haven't we, where we've gone into that sort of format now. The family room, family area.
Customers love that. The whole living now is done in that kitchen, diner, home area. So some people have it kind of 3 ways, if you like. So kind of sofa area at the bottom, dining area, and then somebody cooking in the kitchen who can still be involved in the family environment. A lot of people now have kind of show lounges that they don't use as much, because most of their life now is focused in that area.
The family area.
So most of our kind of
best room. My gran had a best room.
Best room.
Christmas.
That was always cool.
And
energy efficiencies. I think you've alluded to it there before, Colin, the change in the building regs. We've got heat pumps coming in now. We've got solar panels coming in now, charging points and all that sort of stuff. That's all pretty new. Great for the efficiency of the house, and obviously I think it's a selling point, isn't it, for new build. You're buying a house A, B graded, much more energy efficient. So yes, you're paying a premium on the house, but your house is energy proof, I guess, is what we're saying.
So there's all those things you can say, Graham, as well, but in addition is the extra insulation
Right.
It goes into the cavities of the house. Again, changing the building regs, so the cavities are a lot wider.
Right.
There's a lot more air in there that just stops the cold coming through into the house. So the panels are one good thing.
Yeah.
But the insulation going into the new houses now is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really efficient now.
Yeah. It's ideal, like you say, it helps keep obviously we've gone through the cost of living crisis, or we're going through it with the energy bills and stuff like that. So those sort of things, when you're selling a new building, we have these discussions with clients, don't we, when they're coming through. There was the green mortgages came out, and they could do better, I think, on the green mortgages. There should be a bit better of a reduction, I think, on them rates, because you are paying a little bit more for the house, but you are getting a house that's very cheap to run, I guess, compared to a traditional 3-bedroom terrace or something.
Just to jump in there, because most lenders will put a calculation in on affordability. So they'll have a metric where it'll say this is what the gas and electric is, whereas it may be well inflated, reducing the borrower what they can lend.
Yeah. And then eventually for us, no gas in houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the air source pumps.
All the heat pumps, yes. Absolutely. So that'll keep
So
the
it's
cost
totally different way of living. So instead of that coming home from work and it's cold and you fire up the boiler, it'll be a constant temperature. So different way for people to get used to. But it should be good.
And there's a challenge there for them materials. Are we set up for this in this country? Are we ready? Have we got all what we need?
I think it's more labour than materials, to be honest.
Yeah.
So what we're finding is we've got subcontractors who will do it, and have tendered for it, but they're quite new because everybody's quite new into it. There are kind of household names that people would recognise who do a lot of this equipment. Yeah. So you have that confidence, I think, in a lot of the products already, because their names I know from my washing machine or those kind of things. So it's those people who are extending their service further. But I think it's more kind of, for me, it's around the subcontractors all being clear about what they're doing, from my team having all of the knowledge so we can demo it correctly with the customer, because it is a whole different way of living. And it's still their house, their rules, but we'll give advice, on that. So there's a bit of a training piece from the industry as well.
Some people haven't seen them, and they say them, and it's like, why is that in me gone?
Yeah, I mean,
why's it got to be there? Somebody said, I was out on a site last week, and I'll not mention any names of the person I was with. I don't like it sitting in front of one of them. I'll just cover it up. I said, well, no, it's got to suck the wind in. It's got to suck the wind in, otherwise it doesn't work, doesn't it? It's got to bring the air in. But it is just because we've never seen them, have we? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's clever, isn't it? That no matter what the temperature is, these things can pull heat out of the atmosphere. It's clever stuff. It's good.
It's good. Excellent stuff. So for you, Lindsay, then we touched on it earlier on there, the customer service, the customer journey, imperative. I mean, we're the same. We constantly ask. We're a free service. We constantly ask clients for a review. We don't shy away from it. It's one of the first things we're asking for. That we're not going to charge you, but what we want you to do is leave us a review. Because the power of that now, obviously, where I'm going, I think, is where does that get you in the terms of sales? Is that something that you really feed off? And do you push it when your customer satisfaction scores and you?
I think it's not so much into sales, it's treating people right, isn't it?
Yeah.
So people will buy because the price is right, it's the right house for them, it's in the right place for work and the social support networks. But then for us, it's trying to treat people as we want to be treated ourselves. So it's not necessarily that we've done it for extra sales, it's done it so we become better at doing what we do. Right. Because if we can hand the house over and never have to go back into it, brilliant. That's the aim for us all.
Absolutely.
But you don't have a job. Will you have a job then?
I'll find something to do.
Lindsay, don't job.
I was just worrying there. I was like, get it perfect. That's a perfect world.
Yeah, I think as well, because we work quite proactively, a lot of my time and my workload is around that proactive side of things and how to improve that customer journey overall, regardless of whether they have to contact my team or, God forbid they have a complaint or whatever it might be. I think for me it's around, getting in there first. What can we do differently? What's going well? Because at the end of the day, we want them to love their home. We want them to you know, maybe buy from us again.
Well, that's
in the
where
future.
Recommend
the
it.
recommend.
Yeah, totally.
Recommend
Yeah.
it friends and colleagues, the same as what we do, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, use this service. Would you recommend us to a friend or a colleague? Because that's where, you know, it's free, and at the end of the day, it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, that's our model. When we get our client, we want to deal with the client. Again, you talk about moving home every 7 years. Well, most people maybe do a 2-year fix for 20, 26 years or whatever. That's a lot of transactions. Want to deal with them, their friends, the family. So it's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So second half of the year, what we're thinking is it's we're buoyant. Are we sales good at the minute?
I think we've got to be positive, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think you know, things have been slower than we all thought. I think there's a lot of talk on the interest rates. I think Bank of England rates, there's talk they will come down. That will have a massive effect on the costs of people, but the confidence that it gives to the whole market in that things in the economy are going to get better will be great. The press has a lot to answer for on the market, but I think the second half of the year is pretty positive. I think people should start to think that start to feel a bit more positive how things are going to be.
I think you agree with that, don't you, Ben?
Absolutely. You know, like when the rates have even been held, it's very negative. You know, I've said this on a previous podcast. I can't wait for the day where they do just cut it by 4%, because it will breed that, you know, that positive mentality.
It's a confidence more than a financial gain, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the market as well.
You just kind of not to be positive about that.
No, absolutely.
You know.
I think it's what you said before, Colin. We're always banging the drum about mainstream media, so that's why we try and push stuff out there. There is a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of good news in the background, but that doesn't sell in the old days. Newspapers, it doesn't get likes and hits on social media, and it doesn't get viewers on there. If they're being positive, there's no fun in that, so they tend to pull on all the negative stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yes, we'll see a rate reduction, possibly August. I think they're talking now. Might be August, September time. We'll see it. And then we know that leads into the swap market, that will reduce the rates, and then hopefully it makes the market buoyant.
Well, I think the next inflation results are next week, potentially. So
they're already curbing that at the minute today, if you look at it, because of wages going up. They're already putting a negative slant on that one already. So we'll see what happens.
So now we get a 2%.
I think we're seeing after COVID, didn't we, that we need house builders. When the markets, you know, nobody's working and they didn't have house builders, the economy couldn't be dropped.
Yeah, because so many people are involved. The trades and the knock-on and the you know the materials,
supplies. Yeah,
it is a massive chain of things that need to happen to build a house.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but I think you know across our sites we're seeing visitors. There's a lot of people around looking at houses, but some people are deferring that decision to buy for whatever reason. But it's a good time to buy at the moment because you know we have got incentives on there that if the market was really on fire, they wouldn't be available.
Well, that happened post-COVID, didn't it? We didn't need to because you were given in the second-hand and in the new build market. You didn't need to because everybody was lining up to buy them.
We couldn't build the houses fast enough.
No.
So such a demand came out of that. I think people changed the way they were going to live, changed jobs. Everything changed, didn't it, for a lot of people?
Yeah, a lot of people from the south moving north. We've seen a lot of that as well, didn't we? So yeah, there's a different challenge there, but good time to buy, like you say. And rates have levelled, Ben.
Yeah, they've been the way they are for about 6 months.
Yeah,
this is the new normal.
I think that's what people want.
If you can afford it,
it's
you know, it's better than rent, and rent isn't exactly cheap.
Yeah.
Well, I think renting's gone so expensive, hasn't it?
It's just a supply and demand issue, isn't it?
I think it's about
issue.
13% up on the year in rentals on average. So
it's incredible, the figures being...
Yeah, I think we've done some figures before on that based on rental against buying. The biggest hurdle, obviously, for some of the guys that are in rental is to raise the deposit. But there's incentives out there. There's now schemes we're seeing with the different schemes that are in for new build as well. There's things there to help them on a low deposit, which is what we've been shouting for since Help to Buy stopped as well. So there is a lot of incentives and schemes that you can help on new build as well. So, like you say, a good time. Let's see what happens in the next couple of months. Good stuff. Well, thanks for that. That's a good chat. So now we'll just have our regular monthly moan. Right. So this can be anything. Doesn't have to be work. Lindsay, you can moan about Colin if you want.
She usually does.
Yeah.
I think Lindsay should do it because I've done a lot of moaning.
You've done a lot of moaning. You've just been honest. You've been honest. So is there anything that's getting on your back and gripe about anything at the minute?
Amblers.
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 Oh, tell us more.
So you're in the supermarket, you know what you're in for, and there's people just ambling. They're going up the wrong way. Everyone needs to go just up and down every aisle.
IKEA style.
Yes.
You need the lines drawn back in.
Yes.
IKEA
Yes.
style.
I want the COVID lines back in. I want a set speed going round, and I don't want anybody kind of just stopping. You know, you can stop briefly, just pick up what you want, move on. Yeah, but amblers.
Love it.
Yeah.
But what happens if it's a new shop and you don't know your way around?
No, not having it. Every supermarket should be set up the
Well,
same.
they pretty much are, aren't they? They're all set up so you know where they're going. I love this, right? Okay, maybe IKEA or
I
something.
did not expect.
I know, I didn't. It's because they're on phones and they're
Amblers.
stopping because they're reading the phone. They don't realise the phone's mobile and keep walking. I'm with you,
Yeah.
right?
The shopping list.
Shopping list. Colin.
Do you
You'll
know?
get delivered at home, so don't you dare tell me you're ambling around the shopping centre. You're not shopping around. Colin, any moans from you before I lead you in on one?
I know,
What month are we in?
Go on,
I
June.
know where he's going.
lead me in.
Your football. Sorry, did you say Leeds you were from before?
Yes.
You did. All right. So I'll not get into it too much to the viewers
That was
out
May.
there.
That was May though.
That was me. I know we're in
That's
June.
history, we talk about the future
It's
now.
history. At least
Gotta
we'll
be
go to the match
positive
again.
for the
I've
Go
got
to
a
the match
question.
next season.
Danielle Falk. Is it Parker or Falk?
There's no need to swear down there.
Sorry. Is it Parker?
Parker.
Keep or sack?
Keep.
There you go.
Well, they've just got Red Bull invested,
I
haven't
think football clubs sack their managers far too
Yeah.
quickly.
they? Yeah.
It's, they need
Players need to take some responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to give them a bit more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit more
You're
time.
just getting Red Bull.
Yeah,
Yeah. Should be a positive.
it's red.
Oh, it's red. Sorry. No, he's not saying. Ben, any gripes from you this month then?
Graham, the McDonald's on the road has got no red in it.
Has it not?
No, it's all yellow and blue.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And that's McDonald's changed their colours.
There you
Oh,
go.
look at Newcastle. Newcastle just brought a red trim top out. Or is it burgundy?
Isn't that my company is very white?
I thought it was Photoshop when I said it the other day when everybody was
Fair
going
as long as it's not red and black.
Exactly.
red, white and black, he's on there.
It's all good.
Any moans from you, Mr. Riley, this month? Who's upset you? Anybody?
Traffic wardens.
Traffic wardens. Oh, I
So
don't like them.
obviously come to Chelsea Street quite a bit. They probably know the cars. And, now and again you have that little slip where the phone might ring and you'll walk past you thinking you don't pay for your ticket, and you come back an hour later. There's a nice.
I've collected a few since we've moved here, to be fair.
So yeah,
Morrison's, Tesco's, have had us twice.
there's no flexibility.
Aye, good stuff.
So I paid that a day. So happy
Good
days.
lad, good
Colin
lad.
paid mine today, so that was nice.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'll charge you for that.
Good stuff.
Remind me.
Champion stuff. Well, that was one that we've never had before, Amblers. So that's for that.
Amblers, traffic wardens.
Traffic wardens,
People that walk.
As long as they don't just stop with no warning.
I thought you were
Yeah.
going to talk about someone on the coast, on the coast edge.
I did.
Yeah.
Going across site, there's a right of way or something like that.
No.
No. So don't go to the supermarket when Lindsay's around, unless you know exactly what you want and you're in and out with a damn them
She'll
aisles.
knock you over. The trolley.
So,
Hang on, before we move
Go
on,
on, yeah.
so when you go to Greg's, is the,
Greg's customer
you
service.
are in customer service, I'd expect to see a very,
You know, I still go in and I look at kind of the availability of
I'll
the
tell you what the
sandwiches
problem
and
is
the
there.
cleanliness and everything. And I'm
I had a meeting with the team at Greg's once at Tame Valley. You're not telling a little pasty, but we used to be above one, and we used to, obviously people on call centres who get limited.
yes, I remember
Were
that.
you in the meeting?
Yes, I was.
And I came up with a question there because they used to set it up that the fridge was, and there was a queue in the fridge there. You couldn't get into the fridge because of the queue of people. So then they split it into two lines with fridges on either side and improved. Because the call centre person then they got half an hour dinner, and most of them spent the dinner at Greg's. And I was going to get invited to a taste testing of new pastries and things because the Mexican spicy one didn't come out very often.
No, it didn't.
No.
I have
Can't
to
believe
say
you were in that meeting.
that had a double-edged sword, that though.
Did it?
So yes, it was lovely to taste things all the time,
Yeah.
but you were tasting things all the time,
No.
which doesn't do your tummy any good.
I'm there anyway, like, but oh, that's nice that we were in that same week, but didn't even know
I
that.
know.
Fantastic stuff. So, quick fire questions now, just dead easy. What do you love about your job, Colin?
I love that it changes every day,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to remember every day that we're dealing with people's lives and the way they change lives, and you can change things quite easily working in a small builder. Which I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you there's some feedback. I've already said this to your guys on the ground. You are very open to speak to the customers. You want to do the best for the customers. I've worked, and we do work with other bigger builders where the name and number, you know what I mean? You're a plot, and that's it. But you're not that with you, you know what I mean? You are working you work with us. We've had some difficult cases in the past, and we work together to get it across. And that comes across, you know what I mean, that you care about the customer from the start of the sale.
Well, that's good to hear. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. I think the sales team are very much, customer focused and friendly. They've all been working for us a long time.
Yeah.
They stay because they enjoy the job,
Yeah.
I presume. And it's making things as easy as possible. At the end of the day, buying a house, it can be scary, can be daunting, but it doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah.
And it's our job to help people.
Yeah.
And try and match them with a house that they want to buy.
Yeah.
So
I think they echo that, don't we?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's,
absolutely.
It's hand-holding, it's helping them along the way, because it's the biggest purchase you're going to make, pretty much, in your life. And if you haven't bought one before, got to take them scary.
It is scary.
We've got as many admin as we've got advisors, because we want that customer journey once the application's in to be second and on, and it is scary time when you buy a house, and if there's no one there to support you, if you're just doing a mortgage through a broker who hasn't got any admin support and is constantly in meetings.
Yeah. There's a lot of jargon, there's a lot of legal stuff, there's a lot of stuff you don't know. You're never going to come across it, like you said, 7 years. And I guess for me, it's you buy one house, and then the first time buyers, they looked at the parents, and the parents might not have bought for 20 years.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so much has changed in that time. In the old days, you had to go and see a solicitor. Now you don't have to. You can do everything online or over the phone, can't you?
Yeah.
So
Remotely, isn't it?
so all changed.
Yeah.
Lindsay, what do you? I think we know what you love about your job, but I'll ask you the same question.
I like sitting with the customer and having a cuppa.
I bet.
I knew you were going to say that.
Do you take the biscuits as well?
Sometimes. To be honest, if you go in my bag, it's more likely that I've got dog treats. People with dogs, I always we always like to pet them. All of my team are all dog people as well, so we probably remember the dogs' names more than people's names. To be fair, but I do enjoy sitting with the customer and just having a bit of chat.
Good stuff. What motivates you, Colin?
Things it is trying to do a good job, trying to have a good business that it provides housing for people and makes it. I keep saying it's making that process as easy as possible. You can make things hard, you can put obstacles in the way. Yeah. But it's trying 100%. to get rid of those and make things.
A lot of these SLAs and these customer metrics that come in, they're not. I don't believe they're always based on the customer. It's just somebody can measure performance somewhere along the line on the staff or how they do things, and they're not really about the customer, even though they tell them they are. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you work in a call centre, you've got 2 minutes on the call. Right, well, they've got a problem, but it's going to take longer, and then everybody leads into panic, and then how do they deal with it? So I think, like you say, exactly that. It's just making it easy for everyone.
It's like mystery shopping, isn't it? Some companies mystery shop. But what does a mystery shop create? It creates somebody that's in an unnatural environment. Everybody that they meet could be a mystery shopper. So in the back of their mind, they can't relax or be themselves. They've got to ask the mystery shopper questions, and it doesn't have a natural conversation.
Being there, and you know who they are, so then when you realise, and then you ring around the team and say, right, mystery shopper's out, and then everybody plays the game and asks all the questions they're supposed to ask anyway, Colin, so it's a false economy.
But who loses out? The customer loses out. Because they've been asked a load of questions that like, what's that about?
Haven't got a clue.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So,
good stuff. Lindsay, what motivates you every day to get out of bed then?
I think for me it's my team. So, I want my team to feel that they do a good job, they know they do a good job, to feel empowered to do a good job. If a customer asks them to go on site, they can go on site. They're not stuck in the office. I want to feel that I empower them to do great things for us. Yeah,
good stuff. Excellent. And finally then, I was at an event this morning full of Gateshead College, so they were getting to meet employers. We did a bit of speed networking, which was quite difficult. So I would that's the same to you. So I was dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-olds this morning. What advice do you give yourself, Colin, of 16 now?
Well, my daughter's 15 today.
Right.
And I always try and say to her about schoolwork and stuff like that. it's such a short time of your life. It's that part of your life, but it's so important. So take that a little bit more serious. Put a bit more work in there, and hopefully you'll see a reward afterwards. But of course, when you're 16, it's
hard, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I was impressed today, and a lot of us were, by the communication skills, the eye contact from the students. Because I think if I went back to being 16 and stood in front of somebody, I would just melt.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
it's a
have a
very
clue.
different world now, isn't it?
It is.
Definitely.
When I was 16.
Well,
It's tough, and we asked them, they're growing up, we asked them to do exams, we asked them to choose what future they want to do, and it's a lot. It's a lot to put on them, but they do it.
But what are you going to say to yourself at 16?
Myself, what would I do?
Work hard.
Work hard, or try not to be so lazy.
Alright.
And don't fall in love with the first girl that you meet.
We'll not go there.
Lindsay, for you, what would you give your 16-year self? If you looked in the mirror at her, what would you tell her?
Be yourself. Everyone will get used to you.
Yeah,
And
Massive.
sit away from
That's a
southern
good one,
comfort.
massive.
Southern comfort.
Yeah, still can't even sip it.
Pernod for me.
Pernod and Black.
Pernod and Black, and I had a bad experience at the Fed Brewery one year. God, gives us the shivers now when I think about it. But yeah, be yourself. I
Yeah.
think it's a key one, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because you can only pretend to be somebody else for so long.
Well, yeah, and I think there's the whole kind of corporate persona, but I think if you're good at what you do and you work with people who respect what you do, despite you being a bit quirky at times,
I don't know what you're talking about.
then that's a great place to be. You're at work too long to kind of
You are.
pretend.
Spend a long time here, don't we, Ben?
We do. Feels like a very long time ago.
Well, we're getting to know each other in the last 10 years.
There might be a bed in there soon.
Maybe
Yeah.
a bed in there soon. Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's been a good discussion, and we've learned a little bit more about New Build. So thanks very much, Colin and Lindsay.